genetically modified organism,
science,
health,
and politics.
and I am Joanna Kate Sumadra,
Rapzuela Rosco,
Angelica de los Santos,
Lou Josefa A. Cabajal,
Cheryl Joy Unding,
Christian D. Filier, and Anthony Candole.
and we are at Group 3!
So, what is GMO? GMO is genetically modified organism. Is a term used for an organism created through the genetic engineering. According to the World Health Organization 2014, that an GMO as an organism, other plants, animals, or microorganism in which material used is DNA or deoxyribonucleic acid has been naturally mating or natural recombination. For example, organism, and this is the plants mating each other using a DNA structure. So the product of it is tissue. Tissue or cells must be conducted to the plants so that that plants will become a GMO products. Let's find out the following rules of GMOs in food and agricultural industry. Number 1 is the pest resistance. Genetically modified plants to resist certain pests. For an example, is an bt corn. The DNA of the bt corn has been modified with a gene of Bacillus thuringiensis as a soil bacterium that passes proteins in which it is toxic to the corn borers. Number 2, virus resistance. Genetically modified plants to resist certain viruses. Example is GM papaya or rainbow papaya. The papaya ring spot virus or PRCV is known to be determined to papaya plants. So, the protein of PRCV was introduced to the papaya plant through plant tissue, which turned out to be resistant to the virus itself. Number 3, herbicide tolerance. Genetically modified plants to tolerate herbicide. For example, Roundup ready to making a tolerance to the herbicide itself. So farmers then can spray the herbicides killing the weeds but not the soils. Number 4, fortification. So genetically modified plants fortified with a certain minerals. For example, is our golden rice, beta carotene, a precursor of vitamin A. Vitamin A was introduced through biothesis genes to the rice, making the rice grains fortified with vitamin A. Number 5 is cosmetic preservation. Genetically modified plants resist natural discoloration. For example, the apple. The apple variety was genetically modified to suppress the browning of apple due to super artificial damage. Number 6, increase growth rate. A genetically modified organism was genetically higher yield in growth than normal species. For example, a gene from ocean pout Pacific Chinook salmon, making the salmon grow faster and grows faster than its normal size.
genetically modified organisms in non-food crops and microorganisms are give advances in our society. Like for an example, in our flower production, it increases production and lowest the cost of it. Like for an example, blue roses. Definitely, the color of the flowers are blue. But when a gene or a DNA was extracted or put into the the flower, it becomes after the reaction, it becomes a purple, a blue flower into a blue roses into a purple roses. That is the advances of genetic or the GMO in non-food crops. Like example also in in a baking flour. Before, there is no remedy in on how to make a flour, like we say patubo. We do not know how to patubo the flour when we are baking. But since scientists discovered a bacteria or microorganisms, uh, they produce, example, a yeast to make the flour expound or tubo, acronym in the Cebuano. Uh, it makes us easier or makes our society more productive or more resourceful, or we have a lot of resources uh, because of the GMO being put or being discovered by the scientists. Like for an example, in tobacco, the tobacco shrub is we see that tobacco as full of nicotine with no direct influence or with no direct cure to us. We think that it causes illnesses or even in our lungs. But in other country like South Africa, they discover that the tobacco shrub, they use it as a biofuel instead of biofuels like what we use in the Philippines. Less of air pollution, air contamination. That's why their country are basing on tobacco shrub. And the importance of this GMO is that um, increase and low in cost of products.
The benefits of GMO. First, the higher efficiency in farming. With the use of GMO, there will be less use for pesticides and it can cause lower costs for labor and cultivation. And, and also, it helps foster growing plants and animals and better crops. Second, increase in harvest. If the growth and harvest is increasing, it can cause more sustainable to the people. Next is control in fertility. It ensures higher yields. 4. Increase in food processing. It can help ease food processing, for example, canned goods and noodles. 5. Improvement of desirable characteristics. It offers longer shelf life, enhanced color and taste of the crops. It enhances production and reproduction of enzymes, and the food is more tastier. 6 is the nutritional and pharmaceutical enhancement. It increases nutrients levels like vitamin A and iron. 7. And lastly, reduce the use of fertilizer and pesticides. By the use of GMO, it help uh, you it helps the farmer to less the use of pesticides that can cause lower labor, and it increase the profit of the farmers. And they are top 5 countries that operate GMO farmlands, which are the United States, Brazil, Argentina, India, and Canada.
So what is the potential risk of GMO? So in human consumption of GMO might have the following effects. So we have the more allergic reactions, the gene mutation, the antibiotic resistance, and the nutritional value. In more allergic reaction, GMO food may trigger more allergic reactions, more so creative ones, a side effect of the gene alteration. So in the more allergic reactions, the food may be allergic in what inside of it, or what you use the foods, what you use chemicals in that food. So it can cause damage in that food. And the gene mutation. GMO food may develop abnormalities and mutation more than the desired product of the gene alteration. So for example, the big or the small. So that food may be cause, it could be small or big, that can cause abnormalities of that kind of food. It is not normal, and it can be damaged that food, that abnormalities, it is not usually what we've seen as before. And the third one is the antibiotic resistance. It is the GMO food contains antibiotic resistance genes. This may cause disease causing bacteria likely to be more antibiotic resistance. So in number three, the antibiotic can cause diseases. The food can cause diseases to other people. And the last one, we have the nutritional value. GMO food may have change in their nutritional value. So if that food is very healthy, very nutritious in all aspects, but but you put in that kind of chemical in that foods, so that foods will be lessened in nutrients, or that foods will be unhealthy.
Potential environmental risks caused by GMO. First is risk in gene flow. GMO plant could possibly transfer to the modified genes to the bacteria that can cause indigestion, and fungi can have the potential of using genetic materials, and there's no study yet about this. Second is emergence of new form of resistant and secondary pest and weed problems. GMO resistant can trigger new form of pest, while GMO herbicides can trigger new form of weeds. Third is recombination of virus and bacteria to produce its pathogen. Modified gene can transfer and integrated in the viral or bacteria, which may. Third, recombination of virus and bacteria to create new pathogens. Modified gene can be transferred and integrated in the viral or bacteria, which may lead to bacterial new modification or mutation, which can cause new diseases that can affect organisms and human beings.
Potential human health risks by GMOs. A major concern in the use and consumption of GMOs is its effect on human beings, primarily on human health. There are some potential human health risks are identified. First, consumption of GMOs may have adverse effects since it is not naturally or. Second, consumption of GMOs may alter the balance of existing microorganisms in the human digestive system. Third, production of be detrimental to human health, and production of allergens may have adverse effects on humans. There are many groups that campaign against GMO food consumption. They encourage people to boycott GMO's products and to be vigilant in the checking if the food they buy has GMO's ingredients, because Many groups said that GMOs has a negative effect to our health. In the Philippines, the Supreme Court has ruled against the the use of um, BT eggplant, another genetically modified crop. Scientists employing methods of genetic engineering have developed a new group of living organisms termed modified organisms, which found application in, among others, medicine, the pharmaceutical industry, and food distribution. The introduction of transgenic products to the food market resulted in them becoming a controversial topic. With their proponents and consistence, the presented study aims to systemize objective data on the potential benefits and risks resulting from the consumption of transgenic food. Genetic modification of plants and animals are justified by the potential of improvement of, of the food situation worldwide. An increase in yield crops and increase the nutritional value of food and development.
GMOs in the Philippine context. The GMO concern started in the 1990s with the creation of the National Committee on Biosafety of the Philippines through the Executive Order na 4030 of 1990. The NCBP developed the guideline on the plan release of genetically manipulated organism and potentially harmful exotic species in 1998. In 2000, the Department of Agriculture released Administration Order number 8 number 8 the Order number 8, the guideline for the information and release into the environment of GM plants and products. A study of the biosafety regulation of the Philippines concluded that the existing regulation which can be fixed through the legislation such as the Republic. In December 2015, the Supreme Court ordered to put an end to the failed testing of the GMO BT eggplant and declared Administrative Order number 8 series of 2002 of the Development of Agriculture as null void.